1,025 pounds.
Titanus Gojira, widely known as Godzilla, first appeared in 1954. The Titan is considered to be a hero, though he will do anything necessary to protect the Earth from threats. Godzilla is shown to be the most dominant out of the rest of the Titans. We call him the king of the monsters.
Well, guys, look what we got here. So, the gym is officially, I guess, like, open to members. So, there's going to be, I mean, obviously, I believe you guys have been noticing people coming in little by little, whether if you follow the page or you just see somebody walk through behind, like, footage or whatever. But the gym is getting one step closer to having its grand opening. Things are looking up just around the corner, so God bless. Just want to give glory to God. And thank you, Jesus. But I'm being honest, or I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous today, because I have an RPA today. So obviously I'm not obligated to take anything that I believe is not there, but I do have an obligation to push today if allowed to. So I have some fellas here who I might ask to spot, but honestly, like, the weight that I'm planning on moving today is so great and vast. I'm not a PR by any means, but it doesn't take anything away from the legitimate danger of what I am aiming to do today. You know, of what I've been doing on a weekly basis. This is dangerous. It's very risky. I understand that I am putting my health and life at risk, but it can be scary, you know, but I think that's where there's room for God to show up in what I do. Because what I do, there is no guarantee of me, one, succeeding. There is no guarantee of, two, like, me being unscathed, and there's no guarantee of it being just nilly-willy. And the fact that I can come in and do what I do, and, you know, and go home healthy, is, I give all that glory to God, because it's daunting. It is a tall task, but anyways, guys, I already got my premix. I'm about to take this down. I'm gonna go change into my singlet real quick, and then we're gonna get things going. But side note, Kevin and the Kontrolled Insanity team, they're actually driving down right now as we speak. I don't know if I'll record segments with them, but we are gonna shoot some Black Friday promo content. So they're in Houston, so it's like a little 3-hour drive, a little over 3 hours. But who knows, guys? Maybe you guys will get to hear from Cape Strength today. So I actually have a special singlet that I haven't personally worn in a very long, well, actually, I've never worn this. I singlet swapped with an individual in España, not in España, he's from España. So I've been holding off on wearing this, and I figured today's as good as any. But let's go ahead and start getting warmed up. I want to make sure to warm up my hip flexors, my quads, my glutes, my hamstrings, and my low back. Those are going to be like, that's generally what I kind of warm up before squatting. So these are some static stretches that I've been doing since I was an athlete, or, I mean, technically I still am. Athlete is somebody who competes in athletic events, but we used to do this when I played football. This one in particular opens up like this part of the hip, and it just kind of push your hip through. And from here, it's really easy to segue into the opposite hamstring. Make sure you keep that knee straight. Switch. This one definitely feels extra tight because I can feel it up to here on my low back. Generally try to hold these positions for at least 10 seconds, 10 to 15. Because when you stretch a muscle for too long, especially when the movements that you do are very short, very explosive, you want to retain some of that, how do I say this? Okay, I can't explain this point, but I can explain the opposite point. Is when a muscle is too loose and too stretchy, it actually just, totally forgot what I was saying. Essentially, an overly pulled muscle, an overly stretched muscle loses some of the necessary tightness to contract, right? Because it's like muscles kind of work like rubber bands. Not quite fully like rubber bands, but similar, right? They're elastic, they have elastic properties, they can pop, they can pull, contract, expand. So for fat, I mean, I am fat. Now, let's do some glute bridges. Hold. I don't necessarily feel like compressed today in my low back, but I was very active, so I think I'm just feeling a little wonky from walking around so much. And then my nephew had the building FD of running behind me and like grabbing the tail of my shirt and like dropping. And when he did that, it kind of like subtly shifted like that tissue where it's like kind of where your coccyx is. It's like that connective tissue between like your erectors, low back muscles, and like the top of your glutes. So just gonna gotta make sure that I'm ready to go 100% today. Oh yeah. Whew. Yeah. I needed to be stretched a little bit. Okay. Whew. Not a bad little warm up. Definitely got the body temperature a little bit elevated, which is perfect right before warm ups. I might try to see if I have to use the restroom before I get started, because once I get started, like, I don't want to be having to go back and forth, take off my singlet, any of that. I just want to go straight to it. Go, baby. All right, guys, so that was 465 kilos, which is, I think it's 1,025, but 1,025 pounds. This is my heaviest single since Sheffield 24. This is the heaviest single that I've taken in 9 months. So probably closer to 10. But I am at a lower body weight with shoddy sleep, shoddy food, with the newborn son. I'm going to take this every single day. And I tell you what, I'm just so grateful because I get to do these kind of things while keeping my son in my heart and my wife. And it's like, so many people garner strength, like all this winter arc BS, all of you guys want to get your strength from the pain that have been caused to you. I get my strength from the pain I've caused my family, from the failures and disappointments that I've committed. That is where I get my strength, and the desire to make things right, and just to push myself to prove that the faith that the people who love me is not misplaced, no matter how many times I fall, no matter how many times I make the wrong choice. It is my obligation and my duty to stand up to the consequences of my actions, whether they be success or failure. And it is my duty to carry out and execute my obligations regardless of what is going on in my personal life. But honestly, I'm heavily considering like calling in from this just because warming up, my low back was crunchy. Like I was saying earlier, like it just kind of feels wonky on the side that my nephew like kind of like dropped himself on. So I think I'm just gonna go do leg press or some kind of other movement and save my back. What I had planned today was 470, which is 5 keys more than what I did, and I wanted to do like 948 for a double, but honestly, like I don't want to put my low back under any more duress, so I'm going to get that stimulus from other areas, and I'm going to work around the muscles in my low back and my glutes and hamstrings, because that typically tends to help alleviate some of that compression feel. This is like the absolute, and I literally mean it, the absolute worst part of being strong. Because if you guys can see, I have the entire plate, what do you call this, plate hold? Literally the most annoying part, by any means, forever and always. Also, just by moving around, my back's starting to feel better. So, and now that I'm thinking about it, I honestly should have told Kevin and the team to do this on Tuesday, because Tuesday's a lot more chill. Like, I just squatted 1,025 pounds and I'm gonna have to go shoot content for a commercial. I'm tired, I'm hurting, I'm beat up, but things are like that. I've been taking my sweet time, and I actually feel a lot better. Like like based off how my back feels, I probably could have done my doubles, but it's just in situations like this, it is much better to be safe instead of sorry. So you know what I did? I played it safe because that's what's gonna get me to next week's training session. You know? And I think for a lot of people, it's just, okay, so a lot of you guys noticed that the way I talk about my program is a bit unorthodox, right? Like there are days where in my mind, I understand what is needed of me and I need to do every single thing to the T, right? But then there are moments where I have to make an educated decision with my own experience and knowledge of my body and how I feel and how long it takes me to recover. You know, on paper, everything looks easy peasy. On paper, it's just very like cut and dry, right? Like, oh, like do the double, do this, do that. Oh my gosh, like blah, 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 right? But the reality is, I know my body better than anybody. And when it comes to my mind and how I process my lifting, really, it ain't gotta do with nobody else. That's the truth. Like every single cue changed, every single warm-up that has been implemented has been through the inspiration of my mind. Now, I've had a great tutor. Honestly, my high school coach, Coach Ellison, if you're watching this, he's the one who taught me how to like get what I want. He's the one who taught me how to like physically exert my will over it be another person when I used to play football or when I'm lifting weights. You know, he's the one who taught me how to bring out that inner dog. Oh, very nice. You guys want to know the truth about natural athletes? The truth is that yes, there are people who try to cheat the system. But deeper than that is the people who are always accusing people like myself of being fake naturals have never truly ever been competitive at a high level. Now, follow along now. I grew up playing football in Texas. I got to play at 6A, Division I in Texas, which is where all the big schools play. Permian, Allen, DeSoto. Well, DeSoto might be D2. But either way, depending on how districts work, any school can flip between D1 and D2. But the point is 6A. 6A in Texas. The 6A district level in Texas produces probably the most Division I athletes. Probably the most NFL prospects, if not maybe like probably Cali or like if you combine like the southern states like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, you put those guys together, they probably have number one. But the point is, I grew up playing against potentially future Division I NFL athletes. In high school, I was 5'10", 260, 270. Super athletic. I was honestly a lot more jacked than I gave myself credit. Thought I was fat. But my point is, when you grow up in Texas playing football or any kind of sport, you come to learn very, very, very soon that there's always somebody bigger, there's always somebody faster, there's always somebody better. And the best way to be competitive isn't always to be the most genetically gifted in any one of these things or all three of them. Some guys are just DK Metcalfs, and I probably, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys don't understand. You guys do not understand the truth. And the reality is, there's such a big separation in the level of physical ability from the people who are talented and work hard, and then you have the people who are talented but don't work to their full potential, and then you have people who outwork their potential through sheer will, and then you have the people who just can't even comprehend what it takes to be in any of these three categories. They neither have the ability nor the internal drive to be the best they can be. So when you get a group of people who have never been exposed to high level competition from a young age, and you develop this mentality of, oh my gosh, like, there's no way he's just that much better than me. There's no way he's just that much faster than me. There's no way that blah, 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 X, Y, and Z, however you want to cut it up. There's people who are born that are just, I can tell you, and a lot of people from Texas, powerlifters who grow up in the THSPA, will tell you that there were some freaks like Rudy Flores, Joseph Pena. Like, these were guys who were doing crazy stuff at the age of 15, 16, 17. And you know why they're not competing right now? Because either they lost the drive or life happened. You know, it just became difficult for them to continue pursuing this passion, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a hobby, and if you want to support yourself, it takes a lot. And it's like, that's why, like, it doesn't really bother me anymore, because it's like, you guys, like, the people who are haters and the guys who are speculative, and you guys are like always doubting everything, you guys just simply do not know. You guys don't know that there are truly some monsters out there. Now, you guys might think that I'm the monster, but when I first started powerlifting, and I was like 20, 21, and there was already guys older than me, stronger than me, that was nothing new to me. Because I grew up as a sophomore being on the JV Black Squad, practicing against the varsity guys. These were guys 3 years older than me. Guys who were going to go play college football, and I was 14, 15. I had to grow up in that environment. When I was throwing shot put at the Division I UTSA, I had to compete against 5-year seniors. I was 18 years old, and these sons of guns were 23, 24, they've been throwing since they were kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many different levels and dimensions that you guys can't quantify because you've just never been exposed to it nor had the opportunity. And that's not really y'all's fault, you know? I mean, for the guys who never really tried, like, yeah, you guys deserve to be where y'all are at, right? And then the other part of it is powerlifting started off as being an untested sport. So a lot of the OGs and a lot of the knowledge that's around and available is all about taking PEDs to be big and strong. Like, I can't say definitively that if I would have been under the wings of an untested lifter when I first started, I can't sit here and tell you guys if I would have stayed natural, because I wanted to win and be great so bad that just that thought alone might have been enough to get me on that side of things. But fortunately, like, my family raised me. Like, growing up, I couldn't even take protein or creatine. I didn't really even start taking protein until I was like in my 20s. I didn't even start taking pre-workout until I started getting sponsored by pre-workout companies or supplement companies. Like, that was too expensive for me. A tub of pre was too expensive for me when I was still working and coming up. You really think I have the money to invest into that kind of stuff? No, I don't have the money nor the interest. So it's just I was just thinking about that just now because I read a comment, you know, about how I saying there's no way that somebody on my level can be natural. And it's like, there is a possibility, but you got to understand, like, there are people out there who are just born genetically different. Bone tissue, bone density, muscle tissue. Like, you guys don't even understand. Like, there's different kind of muscles, like fast twitch, slow twitch, you know? So it's like, there's so many different levels to it. Like, it's not just, the thing is, it's always the people who can't fathom. They can't fathom. So their brain can't compute, and they can't even consider the possibility of someone being gifted and working hard, you know? So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. I'm gonna finish my accessories. I'll probably do 2 more sets of this. And honestly, that'll probably be it for today's workout. You know, I'll go ham Thursday with leg press. I'll do heavy leg press Thursday. Psych! You guys thought I was done? I'm not gonna lie, I really thought I was done, but then, somebody was doing baby weight. I thought about calling it early, but then I realized I got time. Time's all I need, baby. And if I ain't gonna do my volume to save my back, then I gotta make sure that these legs are freaking ready to rumble. No PUSSY stuff. Straight work, baby. Straight business. But the one bad thing about getting unnecessarily hype is sometimes you lose count. Listening to some, oh, I swear I thought that was my guy. I'ma work, baby. I'ma work like I ain't never worked before. Believe that. All right, this is actually my first time on this leg extension machine, so. Oh, shoot. My AirPods died. Kevin and Matt just came in, so I can feel my hamstrings starting to tighten up. So that was 2 sets of 15 single leg hip press, 3 sets of 15 to 20 abductor, adductor, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps on the single leg leg curl, and then 3 sets of 15 on leg extensions. Not a bad day, guys. Not a bad day at all. To the conclusion, guys, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. We hit 1,025 squat single, called it on the back downs to protect the back, did 2 sets of the single leg hip press because there was a couple waiting for me, and I talked to Josh for like 20 minutes, and I just felt bad about taking up the time in the machine, so hit 1 more set, got out of there. And then I essentially supersetted abductor, adductor. No, I keep getting confused. I did adductors 3 sets straight, and then I did the abductor 3 sets straight, and then I did 3 sets straight with a single leg curl, and then 3 sets straight with the leg extensions. So honestly, I'm starting to feel very irritated at myself for not doing my doubles because I just feel okay right now, and if I can, I'm going to. If I can, I'm going to. And the fact that I didn't, it's just kind of bugging me, you know, but I've never regretted making a smart decision, because when you get to live to fight another day, it is another day, another opportunity to do what you want to do. So I'm okay. I'm not tripping. I'm mildly irritated / upset, but nothing I can't get over. And to add to my point earlier about the truth about being natty or not, you know, it's like the most irritating aspect of people accusing me of being on PDs. The most irritating part, well, there's 2 of them, right? Number 1, you're calling me a liar to my face. And number 2, you are comparing me to somebody who is on stuff to get to where they got. I got to where I got with 3 things. God and the potential he blessed me with, my my freaking obsessive nature to commit to something that I'm passionate about, and number 3, the people who gave me opportunities to get here, you know, like Wes Zunker, the owner of TSS, like he let me stay at his gym for 8 months while I was getting on my feet. He gave me a place to train where I could be, you know, like my woman, you know, for her being forgiving and loving and just being everything I'm not, you know. My brothers for putting a fire under my ass. Like these, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys don't understand. You guys can't comprehend. And honestly, I don't care, because you guys are going to be mediocre. I mean, I don't want to call anybody mediocre, because everybody has an opportunity to achieve greatness and be the best version of themselves. But it's just, there's always a group of people who think they can't get any better because they were fed some lies or whatever the hell the reason may be. You know, it could be daddy issues. It could be they don't have anybody believe in them. They don't believe in themselves, most importantly. So I believe in myself. I believe in God and his ability to work in inexplicable situations and things that don't make sense. You know, I believe in God's almighty power to use negative situations and flip them for positive betterment. And I believe in my family, you know? So it's like, you guys can't be me, and nobody else can be me. Only I will ever be me. There might be somebody who will come up and be better than me, but nobody will ever surpass me unless they do it the way I did it. So it's like, you guys can say what y'all want and do what y'all want, well, whatever. You guys are in whatever hole y'all are at, and I'm where I'm at, you know? So it's like, that's what I find the most irritating. You know, it is comparing me to somebody who does take stuff, but it doesn't think, I'm not like, it's not like a weird beef, you know? I've had situations where untested lifters have been very negative towards me in my DMs, on their platforms, whatever, right? I'm gonna be the talk of the town for Lord knows how long. People just love to talk about me. But I have a lot of respect for a lot of untested lifters, you know, but it's just, I did what I've done my way, and I did it by the grace of God. So that's that. And people are going to speculate and be like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, honestly, there's no point arguing with those people, because they're not even trying to listen, or at the very minimum, potentially, like, digest what you're saying. They're very gung-ho and they don't want to talk about it. But anyways, today was a very good training session. But I wish I would have done my doubles. I wish I would have done my doubles. I'm mad. Honestly, I almost want to do them right now, but Kevin and them just showed up, so I gotta call it. I did put in a good body of work with my accessories. I'm very happy. And then today was a pretty yappy session. This is probably gonna be like a 25-minute video, to be honest. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. You know, maybe I'll get some segments with Kevin and whatnot, but realistically, it's a Black Friday promo video, so it's might not be much value, you know. So see you guys next time.